the Challenger crew, I remember Ellison and Ron McNair. We had gone to, we had they call them splashdown parties, reminiscent of the Apollo on site. And we're all gathered around the beer keg. Everybody's in line getting their beer. And Ron McNair was there with his little boy. I said, come on, let Ron in. Get him to the front of the line. He's the man of the hour, you know?
Yeah.
And so you remember that, and remember El had talked to me a lot. We talked a lot off to the side, and he was really a cool guy. And one day he told me, he says, you know, NASA's going to have a problem, and the press is going to tear us up over it. And after he said that to me, I was in the water. You know, you got a regulator in your mouth.
Yeah.
You're a talker. You don't do any talking, but you do, you know, in your head.
Do a lot of thinking.
And I'm looking at these crews, and one day I remember looking at them all, and I don't know if it was the day that Elle was in the water or whatever, and I'm saying, well, something has happened. Maybe one of these people will happen.
Yeah.
And when the last time I saw Elle, I was looking for a chiropractic friend of mine. My stepson had hurt his back, and I went by and I saw him at the Hilton, in the lounge at the Hilton. And he shook my hand and said, how you doing, Elle? And he asked me, he said, well, look, tomorrow's my final run before I get ready to go in isolation for a couple of weeks before the flight. And so I want you to do my way out. I said, well, Elle, I just changed jobs. I'm working over in mission control now in MOD, and I can't do the way out. You know how that goes. He said, well, man, I can't fly unless you do my way out. And I'm like, well, you know, I can't, Elle. He asked me, he says, have you ever eaten sushi? I was a young guy, hadn't tried sushi. I says, no. He said, I tell you what, we'll go to North Houston, we'll celebrate your new job, celebrate my mission, eat sushi and get drunk together. How's that?
Yeah.
I said, you got a date, man, and shook hands. And I went down when it was a launch day, everybody stopped work and went to a monitor to watch the launch, because this is what we're here for. This is what we're all about. So I went and sat down and looking at the monitors, went downstairs to the WETF and sat there, watched the monitors for the launch. And when that shuttle rocked and began to take off, I'm like, go, Elle, go, go, go. And it was a surprise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's rough. It's I looking back on that, being able to talk with people, and we had Jane on, and it's, there's a lot of people going around, the conspiracy theories and people, trying to say that, they got out and they, that they're still alive, living these lives. And I think it's pretty crappy for these people to go out and try and make these videos to play on these people's lives that they somehow weren't, sacrificed for the mission of space exploration. How does that make you feel when you see these things going around? Well, knowing them personally and that you lost somebody that was.
I wish they were right.
Yeah.
I wish it was a remote control vehicle. The pain and humanity lost, because you see, you have their family that lost them. Then we had the crew that worked with, the people that worked with them, thousands of people at NASA that they interacted with. That was another level of hurt. And then we had a national level of hurt with that, and then a global level. The space, that's where I really woke up, quit being such a kid and gee whiz, pinch me, this is great sort of thing, to realize, and this is serious business. You're sitting on 500,000 pounds of explosives.
Yeah.
You're having a controlled detonation under your butt. Well, you got to have a little brevity about it there too, because of what you're getting ready to go do. But at the same time, you're aware that this can happen.
Yeah.
And I guess you put it out of your mind until it does. But when I saw the Challenger blow up, I kept watching that cloud of smoke, and I was saying they're going to do an RTLS, return to launch site. And then I saw a piece of the wing fluttering down into the water, and I'm like, that thing can barely fly with the wings it has. Missing that much, it's not flying.
Yeah.
And later on, we got looking at the debris pattern coming off the explosion. Found out it was really a low order explosion. It wasn't like C4 going off. I mean, when I was a kid, we'd make gunpowder bombs and pop them off. The boom. When I was in the Marine Corps and we set off a claymore with C4 in it, that's a whole different explosion.
Yeah.
That shock wave drops the ground out from under your foot.
Yep.
You can feel it. And the explosion from the hydrogen and oxygen mixing together was a low order explosion. The vehicle broke up because it got put sideways into the slipstream, and the air velocity broke it apart. And it broke apart, a lot of it on its seams where it was put together. And there's a debris that could show the capsule, because the capsule was like a peanut inside a shell. And it had stringers that held it, and it was a pressure vessel that they were in. And when that skin came away from it, that pressure vessel stayed intact. And you could see the wires that went into the cabin. You could see the wires acting like a streamer, which gave it an orientation. So it wasn't tumbling all the way down. It had like streamers on the back of it, so it'd come down in a bullet type shape, direction. And it wasn't morbid. Somebody would probably think you're morbid wanting to know all the details. But no, this is part of the business that we're doing.
Yeah.
When I was a commercial diver in the water, and I'd be 100 so foot down underwater in the middle of the night by myself, I thought about what would it be like if I drowned?
Yeah.
How am I going to face this? And it's just one of those things that you just have to get your mind around with what you're doing.
Right.
And it's a dangerous thing, but you're doing it for a goal, for a reason. Ellison and the crew, and Judy and Dick Scobie, they all had a dream.
Yeah.
And a little statement that was made is dare to dream.
Yeah.
A dare to dream, because it's dangerous. You can be successful and you can have failure. So I earned my blood stripe in the space program watching Elle die.
Yeah.
And for a while, the local television station here in Houston would show, we're covering the news everywhere, and it'd show the Challenger launch and then the Y formation of the solid rockets coming off. And I called a television station, says, you guys, y'all got to stop that.
Yeah.
Each time I see it, it hurts.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it still hurts.
I think it's remarkable. You have the transcript here from the recordings. I don't think I could keep my composure reading it, but maybe we'll post a picture of it so people can read it for themselves. But it's when you read through this, it's just remarkable to think of the anticipation, but also the I guess intellectual integrity, and then I would just say the grit that astronauts have is truly remarkable.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,